We shall now go on to our next speaker, Dr. Tushya Om Prakash, who's a cataract refractive surgeon, a young surgeon in amidst us from Dr. Om Prakash Eye Institute, Amritsar, and of course, a very innovative surgeon. I have been seeing him outbeat himself in each of these year after year. So on to you, Dr. Tushya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, Dr. Jai Kelkar is not able to join because her connectivity is bad. So we'll go to Dr. Praveen.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. I would be showing you my top pearls in cataract surgery. These are some of the pearls which I'm going to show you today. Coming to the first one is the chopper, which I use as a scaffold in hard cataracts. We published it recently last year. If you see in this video, this is a case of a black cataract where I'm going to use the chopper to my advantage. So if you see here, the side port incision is made 60 to 80 degrees from the main port to facilitate apt positioning of the chopper. The parts of the chopper which form the junction of the shaft and the tip, along with their adjacent parts, are primarily used as shields by horizontal placement anterior to the nuclear fragments. All the time, the surgeon focuses on emulsifying an anterior spilling nuclear fragments. He uses the foot switch in a controlled way and shadows the nuclear fragments with the chopper by using chopper shaft tip junction, and tip length to his advantage to prevent nuclear fragments from bouncing towards corneal endothelium. Clear cornea is seen on postoperative day 1. Coming to the next pearl, this is about the epinucleus, which is used as a scaffold in posterior polar cataract with the pre-existing posterior capsular defect. So this is a case of a young 32-year-old patient with a posterior polar cataract with PCR with no nuclear sclerosis. So no hydrodissection is done. Here if you see, layer by layer hydrodelineation is done simulating flax. BSS is injected at different planes and different directions to make sure that there is adequate nuclear epinuclear separation. Multiple layer phacoaspiration is done. At any given point of time, the nucleus is not rotated. Safe phacoparameters are used. With the aid of chopper, the outer nuclear layer is gently nudged and phacoaspirated. Throughout the surgery, the epinuclear shield, the epinucleus, acts as a shield to the posterior capsular defect, thereby preventing the nuclear pieces going behind, as well as preventing vitreous hydration. Before taking out the probe, visco is injected to make sure the bag is inflated. High sleeve retraction of the cortical tip is done. This makes sure that it separates the level of irrigation and aspiration, simulating a bimanual IA. The outer cortical layer is gently nudged from all the ends without aspirating. Once all the ends are completely freed, it is quickly aspirated. Coming to the third pearl, it is the IOL scaffold technique, which is used to prevent the posterior capsule rupture in cases of Morgagnian cataract. So this is a case, a 72-year-old patient with a Morgagnian cataract with weak saw news and posterior capsule floppiness. So in this case, what I'm going to show you is, before emulsifying the last piece, the piece is gently taken out into the anterior chamber and the IOL is injected into the bag. This IOL acts
as a scaffold to the posterior capsular bag, thereby preventing any bag emulsification. Secondly, the haptics of the IOL acts as a horizontal equatorial support. And thirdly, it helps in allowing the deeper plane phacoemulsification. So in this way, the phacoemulsification is completed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tushya, for defining scaffold in 3 different ways. But that was a nice thought. The first case with the chopper scaffold, I think the chatter which becomes less in these cases is essentially because we moved away from longitudinal phaco to torsional phaco, which itself reduces the chatter, and of course, increasing the fluid rate, there'll be greater fallibility of the nuclear fragments. So I think those have a bigger role to play. Just a very simple question. Would you think of one particular case where you can't use an IOL scaffold?
Where we can't use the IOL scaffold. In normal cases, we don't use IOL scaffold. We are in this particularly Morgagnian cataracts with the weak zonules and floppiness of the bag. At that time, we are taking the IOL as an advantage and preventing bag emulsification. But in routine cases, we usually don't use IOL as a scaffold.
The other thing was that wanted to come forward is IOL scaffold you would use definitely if there's a PCR below or in a Morgagnian cataract, where you want the Morgagnian cataract, you want the nucleus to have a base so that it doesn't keep rotating and hit the endothelium. And a PCR, you use it to have the nuclear fragment out. But if there is a small amount of zonular dialysis, those are those cases we would not use an IOL scaffold, because if there is a zonular dialysis is there, you may not be in a position to place an IOL scaffold because you don't know whether the zonule area of dialysis is going to increase. So
definitely, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Any other questions for him? Excellent presentation, Dr. Tushya.